Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. It's Tori. I am so excited to finally get to this video. I have been wanting to share my 2025 reading journal setup with you guys for ages, and I finally have all the pieces and finally had some time to sit down and work on this project. I'm really looking forward to sharing more reading journal content with you guys this next year, and I hope you enjoy it as much as I enjoy making it. So the first thing I will say is that any of the items that I am using in this video that I can remember where I purchased them, I will include tags on the bottom of the video so you know where to find them. And to start off with, this beautiful 8x8 dot grid journal is from Archer and Olive. I'm a huge fan of super basic black journals, and I absolutely loved the design on this one. I wanted to try something a little bit bigger this year because I have previously had an A5 journal, which is about this big, and I found that I consistently wanted a little bit more space in that one. So I'm very excited to try a slightly larger size this year, and I hope that you guys enjoy coming along on the journey with me. So for a basic aesthetic this year, I would like to do kind of some blacks, maybe a little bit of blue as an accent color, and just kind of see what happens. I'm really not going into this with a strong theme in mind. I just kind of want to see what inspires me and go from there. So let's get started with the "This Book Belongs To" page. I did spend some time yesterday and printed out some headers on sticker paper. My handwriting is okay, but I prefer to have something a little bit cleaner like this, especially with the theme that I'm going for. So I just used a font that I liked in Microsoft Word and made myself all these little headers for the pages. And we are gonna start with the name page. I purchased this really beautiful collage paper set at Hobby Lobby. And I haven't opened it yet, I've been really good. But I absolutely loved these sheets of vellum paper. They are incredibly light, even almost lighter than tissue paper, but I absolutely love the way they look, and I cannot wait to use these. I've been so excited. So now I'm just kind of looking to figure out what I want to use for this name page, and I actually really kind of like the idea of cutting these apart and having my name in between them. So I think we're gonna use that. Okay guys, so I also got this sticker frames set at Hobby Lobby, and I absolutely love the way that they look. So I think I'm gonna use one of these for the nameplate, but I wanna tidy up the way my name looks a little bit because I didn't cut it out very well. Okay, so first things first, we are going to use my sticky tape roller. These things are absolutely must-haves if you're doing bullet journaling and you're not going to be printing everything on sticker paper. These little rollers are incredible. The one thing I will say is that with something as thin as this tissue paper, it's gonna be, we're gonna see how this goes, because you have to be a little bit more careful with things like this. Okay guys, I tried a bunch of different things on this, and I really feel like I enjoy the minimalistic look of this better. I can always add more to it later, but I am gonna add this little blue butterfly. I think it'll be a good suggestion of blue for the rest of the theme of the journal, and it also covers up a mistake. I'm gonna put that right there. These are so heavy duty. right on the center there. Yeah, I absolutely love the way this is looking. I'm gonna leave it pretty simple for today just because I do feel like I will get some other things that I want to add to this, but for now I feel like this is a really good start and I enjoy how minimalistic this is. So let's move on to the next page. So this is going to be the official cover page for the reading journal. So I've got my 2025 reading journal header cut out. I'm going to set that to the side while I figure out exactly what I want to do with this page. I have this washi tape that I've been saving for this journal, and I really, really love the blues and the whites. I think it's really pretty, so I want to use that for sure. I also bought this really beautiful blue vellum paper at Hobby Lobby when I was there, and I absolutely love the way that that looks. And I'm kind of thinking what I might do is kind of 2 half pages of this on the bottom and then something else layered over the top. Okay, so I left this one a little bit shorter because I actually want to put another piece on the side here. So we had an old copy of Lord of the Rings that was literally falling apart. All of the pages were falling out of it. And so I salvaged a bunch of the pages, and this is from when Aragorn and Legolas and Gimli meet the riders of Rohan for the first time. And so I'm gonna sit that over on the edge here. Okay, so I got this little piece of document paper stuck down on the side, and I got my reading journal and 2025 stickers on. The one thing I will say about this is that this will probably be one of the more decoration heavy pages in the bullet journal, because I don't want to get to the end of the year and have my journal be this thick. And extra paper definitely adds a lot of width to the journal very quickly. But this was a spread that I really was excited to do, and I really wanted to spend a little bit more time on and put a little bit more effort into. I also got these really adorable, mischievous black cat stickers on Amazon, and I want to put a few of them around on the different pages because I think he's really adorable. And I think appropriately for this page, we're gonna put the one where he's laying on stacks of papers and books. I know it doesn't really match the aesthetic of everything else, but I don't really care. I love having these little Easter eggs around in the journal just as kind of a cute extra, but I really love it. I love that the black doesn't overpower everything else. It's a little bit lighter. I love having the Lord of the Rings pages on here. So yeah, I think that this page turned out really, really well. It's starting to look like a real journal. So now I'm going to move on to the next page. So for the ratings page, I printed off on sticker paper this little ratings guide for myself that kind of explains how I feel about different ratings and why I rate books different ways. And it's pretty small, but I kind of like the idea of just doing something super minimal on this page. Okay, so I did finish the ratings page and I filled in the stars. I did make a little bit of a mistake and filled in 2 5-star ratings, but I'll go back in with a white marker later on and just erase that out. But I'm pretty happy with how this page turned out. I might add a couple stickers to it yet, but overall I'm pretty happy with what this looks like. It's very simple, very clean, easy to read, and that was my goal. I'm really happy with this page. I think it's really fun, and I may print off at some point a word of 2025 to go with this page, but for now I feel like it looks really pretty, it's very simple, and I'm happy with it. So the next spread is the one I've probably been most excited for this entire time, and that is my priority reads for 2025. Now this is going to be a pretty simple spread in terms of decorations, but I have a lot of things to stick on this page because I have a whole bunch of little book covers that I printed off so that when I finish them throughout the year, I can mark off a little bubble underneath the book cover. so I managed to get all of my priority reads kind of set up in the pages. I left myself some room because I want to be able to add other books as I go through the year. If there's something that comes up that I really want to add to this list, I want to have enough room to be able to do that. But I also put in, over on this side, I'm going to be doing an S.E. Hinton project, the author of The Outsiders, this next year. And so I kind of sectioned off a little area just for her books to keep track of that. And like I said before, I left myself plenty of room to do other books throughout the year if I want to add anything. I just put little circles underneath each book that I can fill in with my markers as I finish the books. And this is one of my favorite spreads to do, honestly, because I love being able to visualize my priority reads and it helps me remember them a little bit better. Moving on to the next spread. So these are going to be a little bit less decoration heavy. These are going to be my reading goals page and my buddy reads page so that I can keep track of both of those things. The buddy reads page is going to be something that I am really looking forward to this year because I am horrible at remembering all of the books I buddy read with people and who I buddy read them with. So this is going to be a great way for me to keep track of that. So next we're gonna do my reading goals, and these are just different prompts and things that I want to accomplish in my reading next year. It can be a really good way to give yourself a easy prompt jar in your reading journal. So just like with my priority reads, I'm leaving myself some space on my reading goals page so that I can add other things as I think of more that I want to do this year. But I love having these that I can go back to if I'm not really sure what I want to read next and I'm looking for an idea or a little bit of a prompt. I can fill in one of my reading goal options. So now that this spread is done, we are going to move to the next one. And this one is a series tracker and genre tracker, as well as any DNFs that I have this year. I do want to keep track of those better this year than I did last year, just so I can have them in one spot if I want to look back at them. And I do want to track my genres because I find it really interesting. I typically read a lot of fantasy, but I do want to branch out into other genres this year, and I want to kind of track what that looks like and maybe make a graph of it at the end of the year. For my series tracker, I have printed off some more little book covers for the series that I want to finish this year or make progress in, and those are all going to be over here on this page. Okay guys, these 2 pages are finished. I'm really happy with how they turned out. I love the way that this page especially turned out. It's going to be really fun to make little colored marks along the sides of the genres as I finish them. And it's going to be really nice at the end of the year to just kind of see overall what the ratio of genres I read was. I also have my series tracker done over on this page, feeling really good about it. I had to squish the last 4 Harry Potter books a little bit to get them all to fit, but I'm feeling really good about these 2 pages, and I think we are ready to move on to K-dramas and TV series and films. So these are pages where I just keep track of what I watch during the year. And this one I went back and forth on because I wasn't really sure if I wanted to keep track of those in the same journal as I was keeping track of my reading. But I think I've decided that it's just easier to keep it all in one place. So this page will let me keep track of the K-dramas that I watched this year and hopefully give me a space where I can review them. So I'm gonna, again, keep this one pretty simple. So this was a pretty easy one. I decided not to add any boxes for my TV and films or K-dramas because I'm not sure how many I'll have, and I plan on just kind of doing these maybe twice during the year, maybe 6 months in, and then at the end of 2025, so that I make sure that I have enough room, because I'm not entirely sure how many I'm going to be watching yet. So these are just 2 super easy, simple spreads that will give me space to keep track of my watches. So moving on, we are going to do my book club page. This is a page for the book club that I'm in with my husband and 2 friends from college. Each of us chooses a book, a film, and a soundtrack or CD for all of us to listen to during the year, and we take turns. Usually we get through one of everybody's picks. So I'm gonna do 2 boxes on each page so that I can write my thoughts and review of each person's picks as we go through the year. Okay, book club spread is done. I wanted to keep this one, again, pretty simple too, with just the header and a little bit of decoration, and then drawing the boxes for each of the 4 picks during the year. And I will go back in and put the pictures of each book that's chosen and write a review or my thoughts on the experience once we go through them. And I am really excited because we're getting towards the end. I cannot believe we've done this many pages already. On the next page, I'm going to keep track of recommendations. This is something that I did a horrible job of last year. I wanted to have a place where I could keep track of all the recommendations that people give me throughout the year. And I'm actually going to leave this next page after it blank because I wanted to give myself a little bit of room in case I come up with something else that I want to keep track of. But for now, we're just going to leave this page blank before we move into the January spread next month, which is insane. I cannot believe we're already ready for January. So let's get this last page done for the recommendations, and then we will have a set up bullet journal for 2025. Okay guys, let's do the final flip through after all of our work getting the 2025 reading journal set up. I'm so thrilled with how it came out, and I cannot wait to show you guys all the pages. So we have our first page, which is just the name page. This vellum was so hard to work with, you guys. It looks amazing, but it is an absolute pain to get to lay straight and to get the glue stick on and everything. It's kind of a mess. So I'm gonna have to figure out a better way to work with this because it really drove me nuts through the entire process, but it looks amazing, so it was worth the effort. Then we have our 2025 cover page. I'm really happy with this. I may add some other little decorations in the future, but I'm thrilled with the way that this looks. I love the colors. It ended up being a little bit brighter of a theme than I was anticipating, but I'm really happy with how it looks. Moving on, we have my ratings page, which shows all of the different kind of my reasons for rating things the way that they are. And again, I did mess up and add an extra star on the 4-star, so I'm gonna have to go back in with a white marker and take that out. Overall, super happy with how these two pages ended up. This is my word for 2025. And then we move into my priority reads for 2025. I left myself a bunch of room, like I said before, so that I can add some more books if something comes up that I want to put on the list. I also have my S.E. Hinton project list over here. Really happy with how simple and pretty this spread turned out. Then we have my reading goals list, which again, I left myself some room to add some more things, but those were the ones that I could think of off the top of my head. And then also a spread for my buddy reads so that I can actually keep track and remember who I read what with, because I had a horrible time remembering everything that I read with people in 2024. So super excited to actually be able to have that all in one spot. Then we have the series tracker page. These are all series that I want to either start or continue in 2025. Malazan, Tawny Man, Harry Potter, Sun Eater, and City Watch. Obviously for Sun Eater, I only have 2 books on the list because I don't know how I'm going to enjoy it yet. And it is a fairly long series. So I've committed to trying to read the first 2 next year, and we'll see where I go from there. Then I have a genre tracker list. I'm going to be marking little dots in color every time I read a book in one of these categories. And I really am looking forward to just being able to see how the ratio looks at the end of the year. I think that's going to be super interesting. And I also wanted to be able to keep track of my DNFs a little bit easier this year, because that's something that I didn't really keep track of the last couple of years. I think it's just going to be interesting information to have and help me remember which books I DNF'd, because I don't always write any kind of review for them, and sometimes I forget to include them in my monthly wrap-ups. Then I have this super simple spread for K-dramas and TV that I'm going to be watching this next year. And I'm really looking forward to being able to add more things to these pages. I know they look a little bit simple right now, but I didn't want to put any boxes or anything in these pages because I don't know what I'm going to be watching yet. So I figured I'd just leave myself plenty of room and I can come back to it later. Next up, we have the book club pages, and like I said before, this is just each going to correlate to one of the picks throughout the year, and I'll be able to put the covers of the books that are chosen in the box and write down my reviews or thoughts on them. And last but not least, I have my recommendations page where I can write down books that people recommend to me throughout the year, which is, again, I get tons of recommendations, and this will mostly be for people that I know. I do go through my comments on my channel all the time and look at the recommendations. I add a lot of them to my TBR, but this will be specifically to write down books that have maybe special interest or that are recommended by friends, and allows me to keep them all in one spot so I can go back and reference this. I did leave myself a blank page so that I have an extra space in case I want to do something with it. I can always just make it into a collage if I don't end up putting anything there. But overall, I'm really happy about how this turned out, and I am so ready to start reading in January and start doing the monthly spreads and the monthly wrap-ups with the reading journal. And yeah, I'm super, super happy with how the beginning of this journal turned out. I'm so excited to be using this next year and sharing it with you guys. I would love to know down in the comments if you have any thoughts, if you have any products that you really like to use while you're journaling. I would love to know what your priority reads for 2025 are, if you have any. And I want to thank you guys so much for coming along with me while I put this all together and watched me fumble my way through this art project. I appreciate you guys so much. I hope you are having a fantastic week. I hope that you had a wonderful holiday if you celebrated, and have some 5-star reads coming up in the year 2025. And I'll see you guys in the next video.